Hello, hello, hello. It's me, it's Malu reading from Malu Spiritual Place, where the spiritual journey begins. And if you saw my last video about Blue Spring, you know that I have interesting things to share with you. I'm not going to give you all of the details. I'm not going to keep this video too long. And besides, part of the details, the really good ones, are going to be in in my book that I'm kind of starting to write. I want to share my experience. I want to really tell you how it is to be me and the experience that you can get out of nowhere. Okay, sweeties? So, as you see, as you know, I will say, I went with my friend to Blue Spring. Yeah, we saw manatees. We have a really good experience over there. But we saw this house. She wanted to go in because she never had the opportunity in the time that she was there to go in, and it was open. So I was like, oh yeah, of course, maybe it's haunted, I said. But in the moment that I put a foot in that ground, everything changed to me. You see all of this space, right? Immediately, if you notice, it's like a bumping kind of thing. I told her I need to sit down in there. Immediately I felt it. One of the first things that came out of my mind, of my mouth, was like, I need to sit down in there. But I told her too that I was seeing things in another time frame. I started seeing some kind of a woman in the house, in one of the windows, what it was the kitchen. I remember that I told her about all of this native that I was seeing there. I don't want to give you a lot of details, but that was something that, and I have to be there maybe for like 2 or 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I had to deal, because when these kind of things happen, that history, I would say like history connect with me, I need the process. In that time, I wasn't even processing that I was trying to have fun. I just allowing the spirit, I was allowing the energy to connect with me, whatever message they wanted to say. But I feel that I was kind of connected with a footprint, not just necessarily in that moment like a spirit. And I think that I was having this paranormal experience. I forget the name now. That way you can be in 2 places at the same time, or in 2 time frames at the same time. Because even that I knew that I was with my friend, I was seeing and I was feeling, I was experiencing everything that I was in that time. Like I was observing everything in that time frame. I remember telling her the time that I thought that I was seeing all of these native, the way that they were dressing or what they have on them, the way that this woman was dressing, and how she looked like. I remember telling her that, and she was like, okay. Most of the time we try to remember everything that I'm seeing or saying. The thing is, like, for me, it's difficult for me to forget things, because I can it's like I have a spiritual memory or something like that. So after I was able to process, I cannot, even that I want to, by example, maybe I just want to keep having fun. Depending on the occasion, sometimes I just have to ignore it. And I kind of like save it and then think about it to see what I can get after that, but it's never going to be the same as when I was there. So, but I tell her everything that I was seeing. I was feeling a lot of energy, so we went up, and I told her, and I kept telling her, I need to sit down here, I need to sit down here. So we went, as you see, we went in, and immediately she told me that in that moment she told me that belonged to a woman, Mary, I forget the last name. I'm gonna leave it in the comments. But I remember that I was telling her everything that I was feeling. She was talking to me, but not as a haunted girl. I would say like she was like a spirit trying to communicate. I would say like it's not a ghost or a earthbound, no. In that moment, it was just talking. Most of the time, this spirit want to let you know the truth, the story that is not being told, or is not being told, I would say. So I start telling my friend everything, because sometimes I need to process, like I need to go through the energy. I needed to flow. I needed to tell her what I'm receiving, because if I cannot tell her, I stop receiving the messages. The energy don't flow. So it's not being able to communicate. And I remember seeing through one of the windows, and I remember having my own memory of a past life. I don't remember, I didn't remember all of the details, but I remember seeing from a house. And when I was there, inside of the house, I have that feeling of belonging. Like, this house remind me my home. And I remember that I was really excited about that because I never had the opportunity to experience, but finally have that feeling of a home. Oh my God, I know that I have a home like this in some point in my life. So when you are going there and you start having those feelings, don't ignore them. Talk to about it. If you have a person that you can tell them, even you don't have to tell them that whatever you believe or no, you just kind of, you know what, this feels like a home. I swear that I can tell you that this feels like a home. See, maybe you just have to change the way that you're gonna see it. You're not gonna say it like I told her, I'm having a memory of my past life, this, I have a home that it was like this, I have this and that. But at least you allow that energy to flow, and maybe you can be able to receive other things if you're willing, if you are accepting, if you are open, if you don't start trying to understand whatever you are receiving and just accept it for what it is. Remember that the universe, the spirit, they talk to you through thought. Most of the time it's like a telepathy connection, so it's going to be like you're connecting and someone through your thought is talking to you. You just keep learning how to know who or where it is, but sometimes that is not important. The important thing is that you're allowing the information, because sometimes it's even your higher self communicating with you. Okay, like that memory, I know that it was my higher self allowing me to remember because I was there. It took the advantage of that. So we went through the house. I started telling her about a lot of things that I started seeing in the house, outside of the house, how it was, and I tend to describe her everything with detail in how I'm seeing it. Because even that when I was inside of the house, the woman, it was talking to me. Outside, it was always seeing this like I'm in like in another time frame. Like I was living or kind of observing. Like everything stopped looking, or like everything stopped in the way that it was. And I was in the way that it was before. Like, I hope that you understand. I know that sometimes I talk and don't make sense. So we went again inside of the house. She told me a number that later it makes sense and stuff like that. And as you can see, before I go and finish my trip, ta-da! I was able to sit down. And even when I was sitting down, I remember breathing. I was telling her, oh my God, this feels so much energy. I remember that she was like, okay, we need photos, boop, boop, boop. And I was like, okay. But I was like embracing. I remember seeing the sky, and at one point it was like an angel. I swear to you, I felt like an angel in the clouds was there. Then it was like maybe 2 or 3 minutes for me being in there. And after that, we learned that that place was created because all of these native put things in there, like instruments on, I don't know, all of this stuff that they use it, that they kind of get old and stuff like that, even kind of human bodies, like, you know, skeletons and everything, like all of those stuff, they were there. So my friend, when she kind of like, you know what is that? You know why you wanted to sit down in there, right? And I'm like, no, I just knew. She's like, because the native do it. Those things, they were created because this native kind of put things in there or something like that. So that was created that way. So you were sitting in the power or sitting in their stuff. So they want you to feel them more and stronger. And I was like, oh my God. They want me to sit down in them so that I can kind of feel them even more. But I would say that after that, I stopped seeing in the way that I was seeing. After that, I was still having glimpses of certain things, but I stopped seeing in the way that I was seeing. I swear, I stopped seeing in the way that I was seeing because I think that they just wanted that connection. They just want that energy. So it was really, really good. when I start writing all of this, I'm gonna put all of the juicy details about what the woman told me, exactly what I saw with this native and this woman and stuff like that. But it was a beautiful house. That experience, it was really, really good. And I really like it. I really like it. So that was my experience as a little witchy and a paranormal investigator, and that I have in Blue Spring when we went there. So even that I went for one reason, as you know, I ended having another thing that made me remind, like it made me remind how much I love doing this, how amazing it is when you allow, when you create this communication, when you create this with yourself, with your higher self, when you connect in this way. And this is something that each one of you can do. You don't have to be completely a medium. You just have to be aware of your abilities, whichever they are, and you just need to trust that you can receive it. When you give yourself that time, when you give yourself that patience, when you give yourself that love, and when you allow yourself to trust and believe, amazing things can happen. So, thank you for watching me. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.